Linda welcomed into the room the freshly minted Minister of Health.
I think there has been some positive improvements in the relationship with the Minister of Health and certainly with the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care, where we as ONA are at a stage where they're looking to us for our input instead of us having to go forward to them and ask them to listen to our input. Certainly an example of that's Ebola.
On Ebola, we are truly listening to your concerns and your advice based on your perspective and your expertise and the expertise that you provide by being frontline healthcare workers. And I know it's not perfect. I know it's an iterative process where we're continuing, particularly on the area of training, where we're continuing to evolve the preventive measures that we put in place. But I would hope that, I would hope that Linda agrees with me in saying that I think it had, by our nurses speaking out, representing all healthcare workers, you really did a great service to the province and the country.
Linda is hopeful about the strategic directions of the Liberal government.
The intent from the top is that it is going to be a better work environment and better quality care for our patients, our residents, and our clients. However, when you get into the weeds on this, we know on the front lines that kind of impact. So we're going to have to be very vigilant in making sure that we are talking about what the impact of the changes in the healthcare restructuring are to our patients and certainly to the members of ONA.
One passionate ONA member followed the minister afterwards to advocate for new grads and full-time positions.
We should be encouraging the employers to create more full-time audits.
I know we have a lot more work to do on that, but it is going up and we need to keep it moving up.
My point to him was to create full-time jobs in all the facilities where you have new grads so that they can work independently after they are being mentored.
Keynote speaker Craig Kilberger, the co-founder of the Free the Children charity, was inspired by the lessons on leadership of Nelson Mandela.
And he described in his childhood, he said that he thought it would be being a shepherd. That's what he expected his life journey to be. And he was very excited the first time he was given the responsibility to be a shepherd. And he was about 5 or 6 years old, and he remembers the family watching him as he walked and struggled to open the gate to where the sheep were, and opens it up, and ready to lead them out to pasture, he proudly turned around and he said he started to march forward, expecting the sheep to follow him. And very quickly he, of course, realized leadership didn't quite work that way, and that he had to go behind them. And the only way to actually get them to where they were supposed to going was to lead his flock from behind, his exact words.
What piece of advice would you give in regards to motivating people and empowering people to become activists and getting involved with social justice issues, and in our particular case with the Ontario Nurses Association, the union movement?
Well, when we work with young people, we get the question often, where do I start? And we always say to kids what I also think is relevant to adults, which is a simple equation of spark plus gift equals better world. So we ask young people to say, what's their spark? What's the issue that they deeply care about? Is it poverty? Is it homelessness? Is it violence? Is it a medical issue? Is it, what do they want to change in the world? And add that to your gift, because I believe every kid has a gift. They can do sporting events with entry fee being a can of food for a local food bank, or they can use technology and create a Facebook site for a cause they care about. In the same way, having a more grown-up conversation with adults, what's the cause that most resonates with people who are watching? If they want to be an activist, what is it they want to be active in helping to change?
So how do you think you might be able to utilize some of what Craig said during his speech to mobilize your members, particularly your young members?
Well, I very much liked his talk about Nelson Mandela and how he learned to gather from behind. And I think that's what we have to do with our young members is, sort of enfold them, bring them in very gently with humility.
I think one of the key takeaways for me was that we can mobilize these members, and even though they are young, and we can still get them involved, and we can get them to say, I'm in. And that's one thing that I'm really inspired about after listening to Craig's speech. He mobilized so many young people, and there's no reason why we can't do the same thing.
Yeah.
A situation. We've obviously taken it to
Members met outside of plenary too. This was a jam-packed gathering of members advocating for health and safety.
If a member came to any one of you and said, my manager didn't do, or name whatever it is they didn't do, can you fix it, right? If the conversation occurs and the manager tells you to take a hike, are we just going to say to the member, oh, you know what, we tried? No, we don't do that. We say it's a violation of the collective agreement. The meeting this morning for me was essentially asking those who will be taking part, the real members working on the real front lines, what is it they need. So what I heard this morning was that networking is very, very important to them. They want to be able to discuss strategies for dealing with health and safety matters, essentially taking best practices and spreading them around.
The Biennial Convention means serious business around finances and constitutional amendments and resolutions, but when the business is over, we know how to kick up our heels. And more heels. And even more heels.
I'm standing with a group of absolutely gorgeous ladies, and I'm going to interview them and ask them who they are wearing.
Le Chateau.
Melanie Lynn.
Michael Kors.
Wearing Joseph Redenkoff.
I'm actually wearing my friend's dress because she's a teacher. She has a closet full of dresses. I have a closet full of uniforms and Lululemon.
I'm wearing me.
I'm wearing Jones New York, Armani.
I'm wearing Jessica by Sears Couture, but don't tell her, she doesn't know I borrowed it.
And I can guarantee you one thing, that's no Armani. He says, you look pure dead gallus.
I'm wearing a piece from the Cayman Islands since my son lives there and works there, so this ensemble is really low priced but effectual for a gala meeting.
Le Chateau, maybe.
Dress Barn, and my best friend's shoes.
I am wearing things from my closet.
Also a mismatch.
A combo of Reitmans and I can't remember where I got the top.
Stuff from my closet.
You must be the best looking local that I've seen so far, eh?
Ellie Saab. I love it. I bought it for my daughter's wedding, and I thought I would wear it again tonight for this celebration.
I'm wearing Giovanni.
I'm wearing my own creation.
I'm wearing my own creation as well.
I'm wearing my Chanel.
And I'm dressed as myself.
In Kenneth Cole.
Nine West.
I'm wearing Loren.
It's a beautiful, easy, stretchy material for when we have our sandwiches at dinner. I'll have room. Thank you.
I'm wearing a Vegas ensemble.
I am wearing my Walmart attire.
Hugo Boss, pants, shirt, and of course the Ona scarf.
Stunning, absolutely, bunch of stoters.
Prada.
Joseph Abood suit from Moore's.
GT Boutique.
You know what? It's the first time I've seen my pal here, Nick, in a suit. When I seen him walking towards me, the first thing I thought was he must be going to court.
I'd love it to be maybe Givenchy, but it's homemade.
Couple of crackers.
Thank you, and we'll start dinner and then double the dessert band. Thank you.
I've been in unions all my life, but this is a good looking union. I have to say that quite honestly, but I have to ask Anne yourself, you're looking stunning as always. What are you wearing?
I'm wearing...
On top, I mean.
I'm wearing Laura, Michael Kors, and Kate Spade shoes. And I have to ask you, Tam, who are you wearing?
My brother.
Your brother? Who's your brother?
No, my brother's jacket. I borrowed it for the night. I think it looks quite sharp, eh?
You do look good, Tam. You do. Bye-bye.
Take care. Cheerio.